Growing up in southeast Texas, James Loney spent his childhood outside playing sports.
We had a batting cage in the backyard, and we had a trampoline, played basketball, so we were just always kind of outside doing things.
And with his first baby steps, he was drawn to America's favorite pastime, baseball.
Started from when he was one. He's been swinging the bat forever.
From a Little League standout,
the people are like, oh, this kid is going to be something,
to Texas High School Player of the Year, Loney's hard work and natural athleticism shined brighter than the Texas sun.
He stood out like a sore thumb defensively on a high school field. He was that good.
Drafted in the first round by the Los Angeles Dodgers, Loney began his career in the City of Angels, when he found a love beyond baseball that would change his life.
I just knew instantly, this is who I want to marry, and this is who I want to have a family with.
Now on Florida's West Coast,
the other guys, second, short, and third, love when they see Loney at first.
Father, husband, son, and skilled first baseman, James Loney is loving the role he's found in Tampa Bay. Next on Inside the Rays, Loney at first. Welcome to Inside the Rays. I'm Kelly Nash. Growing up here in baseball-rich Missouri City, Texas, James Loney developed a love for the game. From an early age, his work ethic and focused demeanor shined bright. With the help of his family, James spent countless hours developing the skill and discipline it takes to become a standout baseball player.
James was a really good kid. He was very good in school. He was in the gifted and talented program since kindergarten. Growing up in Houston, we lived behind a baseball park.
The foul balls would come in our backyard at night, and in the morning, James would get up and take a bucket and go out and get all the balls. First memories are picking up the balls in the backyard and just kind of seeing what they were, discovering this new object.
I basically took him to the park when he was like a year and a half and just started playing with him. And we would just go out there and run around the diamonds and hit.
He would be outside playing what I call ball on the wall, waiting for me to come home from work with a tennis ball. So he loved it from, forever, as long as I knew him.
When he was in Little League, he just had a natural inner passion. Like he would even run the kids down trying to catch them from first base all the way over to third base on some of the plays. It's really funny.
You don't really think about it back then. You're just playing, having fun. I think just always enjoying it was something that probably helped me, develop, at an early age. Because a lot of the parents didn't have time to coach the kids in the league, so I volunteered because I had my own business. I was able to schedule myself to coach. I never played baseball, but I went out and bought some books on how to coach the league. Different books on pitching and training to help James. I think it helped me. Depending on what books you read, I guess it's hard to kind of decipher what, you kind of teach your kid out of that. He kept it pretty simple with me. We just had fun doing it.
I remember times where his dad would drive us 3 or 4 different tournaments on the same day. It was fun, and when you've got parents like his that were willing to do that, obviously means a lot to them to make sure he had what he needed to be successful.
Then we moved out to Missouri City when I was in middle school. We had a little more land. We had a batting cage in the backyard. We would just go back there for about 30, 45 minutes to practice. We would go out every day, sometimes twice a day. We'd go in the morning before I go to work, and then we'd go in the evenings. You get home from work, tired and everything. I'm like, hey, let's go. So there you go. We was out there all the time, hitting. It was my second job. It was out, what I call our quiet time, where we'd get back there in the cage and just talk about things in life, and I loved it. He loved it.
How many times were we not in that game is the question. It was every day after school for years.
We'd ride the bus home from school, and we'd watch music videos, and eat tuna fish, and go work out, and then go hit.
Where most kids are wanting to sit around the house on the weekend and maybe just play with some friends, play some Xbox or watch some TV. You know, our thing was, hey, let's go to the batting cage. Let's go lift some weights in the garage. What can we do to get a little bit better? It was his work ethic, his desire to get better, made you realize that he had a love for the game.
Coming up on Inside the Race, James Loney's high school career takes off.
For us to finish off like that, you know, my senior year was something special.
Welcome back to Inside the Rays. I'm Kelly Nash. It was here on Elkins High School baseball field where Loney made a name for himself. With an unbeatable arm and a precise bat, James evolved into a star player, helping to lead the Elkins Knights to impressive heights and securing himself a spot in Texas baseball history.
I always wanted to be the best at what you were doing. I think maybe once I got to high school is when I kind of realized like this is what I wanted to do, you know, full time.
I coached James at Elkins High School in Missouri City, Texas for 4 years. He played first base and he pitched.
My high school coach, Coach Carpenter, he was the best coach. Real easy going, but also had that like killer instinct in him that, you know, he wanted us to be the best and he wanted us to work hard.
His sophomore year to senior, he was our ace and all-state player for the varsity.
Pitching was fun, you know. We play like 2 games a week, so I'd pitch one and play first the other game. So I can never really say that I liked one over the other.
What really got us excited about James was his changeup. He could throw the changeup any count, any situation, and just fool batters all the time.
I guessed James to throw 83, 84 as a sophomore. As a senior, he threw over 90. Throwing 90 mile an hour from the left side and be able to hit spots the way that he could. A pitcher like that doesn't grow on trees.
James Loney was not only an all-state athlete, he also excelled in the classroom.
James Loney was a student in my senior economics class. It's an AP level class, so it's an upper level class. He excelled on the field and he excelled in the classroom as well.
He stood out like a sore thumb defensively on a high school field. He was that good. He was that far above everybody else.
I've coached close to 34 years. Of all players, he's had to have the best glove I've ever seen, and still has the best glove I've ever seen.
I've never seen a kid who could play first base like James. There was no such thing as a bad throw when he was in high school because he scooped everything. Stuff that you just can't even hardly believe sometimes.
His sophomore year, James went 14-0 as a starting pitcher, including a school record 17 strikeouts against 21 batters in a single game versus rival Dulles High.
High school 7 inning baseball games, so 21 outs and the strikeout 17. You do it against good competition. That doesn't happen a lot in Texas high school baseball.
That was just one of those games. I think I struck out the first 8 batters when I was rolling, and I felt good.
We didn't have to play a whole lot of defense that game.
To have a record that lasts for 10, 12 years is impressive. So if someone breaks it, they deserve a big pat on the back. That's a pretty tough number to reach right there.
He wasn't just good at pitching and defense, James could hit anywhere on the field.
He could hit the ball out to left field. He could hit the ball out to right field, center field. It just didn't matter. He just saw the ball so well and he hit it all the time.
On the road to the 2002 state title, James pitched an elimination game against Round Rock Westwood that almost ended in disaster.
In the state semifinal game, they had bases loaded with 2 outs and it's full count. So he starts from the windup, and when he comes up with his right foot, he gets his cleat caught in the shoestring of his left foot. And he starts falling sideways off of the mound, and he continues, and he floats the ball across the plate, belt high. That was one of the most athletic things I'd ever seen. He's actually fallen off to his left and still had the athletic ability to throw the ball down the middle of the plate.
The Awards piled up for James his senior season, including the Gatorade Texas Player of the Year.
He was voted the best player in the entire state in 5A, which is the highest classification that there is. Quite an honor in this state.
I thought it was a great award to win, and appreciative.
2002 was also a big year for Fort Bend Elkins High School. With a victory over Austin Bowie, the team clinched the Texas 5A state title and a national championship, ranked the #1 high school baseball team in America.
They take the schedules, your opponents, your scores, they evaluate you, and they compete other teams in the United States. So we came out #1 in that evaluation, which was nice.
Winning the national championship, to be ranked #1 in the country, and for us to finish off like that, my senior year was something special, something we worked so hard for.
I got to ride home with him and his parents, and I do recall just reminiscing the whole way home, wearing our medals and enjoying it, and just it's that grin. I mean, you see me now, you just think about it, and it was a good time.
Coming up on Inside the Rays, James Loney makes it to the major leagues. After an all-star high school senior season, James Loney had the full attention of Major League scouts. Although he was known as a pitcher, in 2002, Baseball America listed him as the best pure hitter in the MLB draft. Hardworking and competitive, James was determined to find his place among the best in baseball.
When he was in high school, I realized, he might get a scholarship, for baseball. Until the scouts started coming around, and once they started coming around for high school, I'm like, okay, he might be able to do this.
There would be like 60 scouts up there in his senior year. And they all had these radar guns, and that was amazing.
And I remember we were playing a Katie Taylor tight game. It was John Malone, throwing it up there over 90. He threw a high fastball to James, probably in the 90s, and James got on top of it and just sizzled one off the right center field wall. The scouts were telling me later that was the final thing that they needed to see.
At the 2002 Major League Baseball draft, the Los Angeles Dodgers selected James Loney with the 19th pick of the first round.
I got a call the day before. They basically told me, we want to take you with this pick. What do you think about that? And I was like, yeah, that'll work.
Draft day was very exciting. He announced him as a first baseman instead of a pitcher. So that was quite interesting.
26 of the 30 major league teams wanted him as a pitcher, not a hitter. They said, we want you to try first base and see how that goes. So still trying it out.
He wanted to be a hitter. I think he was happy the Dodgers picked him as a hitter. And anytime I've ever talked to him about it, he's never looked back. He's been happy to be a hitter.
I really like it, and I think James likes it too because he gets to play every day. I don't think James could sit on the bench for 5 days and make the pitch. So I think it worked out perfect for him. It was exciting. I thought it would be great being in California and playing there. It was just one of those feelings you really can't describe, It was just until it kind of happened and you went out there and saw the stadium and everything, it's kind of amazing.
Now the moment has arrived.
James made his Major League debut on April 4th, 2006 against the Atlanta Braves.
First hit was off John Smolt. You're seeing him play against guys that you grew up watching thinking they're legends.
When you're playing the game, you don't really think about all those things until later.
On September 28th, James would have an unforgettable game against the Rockies, hitting 4 for 5 and 9 runs batted in.
I had a grand slam, a 2-run homer in that game. That's probably the individual game that stuck out to me in my career professionally.
In 2011, James's personal life would reach a high point when he met the woman of his dreams.
James and I met a few months after I had passed the bar through mutual friends. I had been an attorney for a few months, and I kind of noticed him, and I was like, who's that quiet guy? And there was just something very attractive about that aspect of his personality, that he didn't need all the extra hype. He did definitely get my attention.
Yeah, I just knew like instantly, this is who I want to marry, and this is who I want to have a family with. So yeah, I mean, that's the best feeling in the world right there.
We started dating right away. Within, I say, a year and a half, we were engaged and married and pregnant with our first child. So we didn't waste any time. Everything just moved, but it didn't feel awkward or weird or rushed. It just felt like things were going as they should be going. Well, I think people have this perception of James being this quiet, in the corner kind of guy, and yes, he can be quiet, but he has a lot of heart.
To me, he's a comedian, but I know the real James. Once you get to know him, he's a practical joker. He likes to have fun. He's always laughing.
He is very low-key. He has ice water in his veins. The more pressure, the better.
He stays under control. When it's crunch time in a game, he's as calm as any cookie would be.
I think it's an absolute strength of his, the fact that this guy is so calm. He never panics. He's never in trouble. That's why I like him in tight moments, because the heart beats the same, nothing races, nothing speeds up, he sees things the same, and that's what makes James so interesting.
Coming up on Inside the Rays, James Loney finds a new home in Tampa Bay. Welcome back to Inside the Rays. In 2013, James Loney brought his consistent bat and firm glove to Tampa Bay. Bonding quickly with the young infield, James took full advantage of this fresh start, and the Rays found a perfect fit at first base.
I know they've been competitive the last few years before I even got here. And heard great things about the guys and the organization and the coaching staff.
It was a perfect fit for James because I think he really needed to be in a place where he felt comfortable to be himself, and Joe clearly sets that environment up for all of his players.
We talk about Coach Madden all the time. We always say he's a player's coach, and he loves it. There's not one time that we talk about playing baseball for the Rays that he can't stop talking about how awesome it is.
The other guys, second, short, and third, love when they see Loney at first. He kind of provides a security blanket kind of feeling, one fuzzy to the rest of the infield. Unusually good in all components of the game as a first baseman.
First base is such a key position in the offensive lineup, but defensively as well. A lot of people don't realize how many runs are saved over at first base, and he makes things look really easy.
Escobar out at second, throw to first, double play!
We talk about an impact bat. It's nice to have an impact glove. You know, if you throw him in the dirt over there, he's going to pick it out.
I was really disappointed some of those guys in that one great gloves last year. Escobar and Loney, I thought they truly deserved it.
If I'm an infielder, I'm throwing the ball over there. If it's a bad throw, I'm expecting him to pick it. If he doesn't, then when it was a real bad throw, not me.
Up the right field line, that's going to be a fair ball.
We're talking about his defense, but how about his offense? I mean, this guy had a really good year.
Loney takes it the other way into left for a base hit.
Every time he gets in the box, he's going to have a plan, have an approach, and he's going to stick to it. I think that was the one thing we saw last year. He never deviated from it. For a hitting coach, the fact that you have a consistent at-bat in your lineup like that every night, it's very reassuring.
I see the way he works, and I see the way he goes about it. It's no surprise why he is as good as he is.
One of his best games of 2013 was a clutch home run to finish off the home season, complete a 4-game sweep of Baltimore, and help lead the Rays into the playoffs.
I had the walk-off home run. That was probably the most memorable game. I pinch hit. I was excited once it went over because I hit it and it It was close to being, off the wall or foul too. And once it went over, we could all have a sigh of relief, for that game.
The Rays think so highly of James's talent that they signed him to a historic 3-year, $21 million contract, the largest free agent investment the current ownership group has ever made.
When you bring back a player that had that much impact on you on both sides of the ball, not only offensively but defensively, it's exciting, and he fits in perfect. I mean, he's the perfect guy for our club.
Done for several more years, and really knowing him now and him knowing this is going to be kind of exciting.
I loved everything last year that we were doing. We were pretty close to where we wanted to be, and I kind of, wanted to come back and build on that. The guys were great, and they treat you good here. A lot of good things.
We were really hoping to come back. We really were. I really didn't want to go anywhere else, so I was very happy and felt very good about coming back.
So she likes it here too now, and we're looking forward to a couple more years here at least.
Last year's big season reached its greatest moment off the diamond with the birth of James and Nadia's first child, their son, Jordan James.
Going home to him, crawling around and grabbing on you and doing the simplest things that are so cool, like walking and talking and stuff like that.
He's a great father. He just likes to spend as much time as possible when he's home with him.
Oh, it's great. I mean, he's just so happy now. He's like in another world. He went from baseball to here now.
Just real happy. Got that proud father look on him.
James is an inspiration to me, as well as the kids I relay the message to. I'm very proud of what he's done. I think he's done great.
I'm real happy for him. He worked really hard since he was really little and just had a passion, love for baseball. It's a great accomplishment.
I love watching him play, and he's so passionate about what he does. It doesn't feel like a job for him, and I can see that. He's just very grateful. I'm proud of him for that.
I'm just going day to day, living day to day, and seeing what happens with the team and everything, and with my family. That's all I've been looking forward to now. That's the future.